The day I became a wealthy woman was actually when I felt the furthest from it. I had just been laid off from 2 jobs due to COVID-19 within the span of a couple of months. Despite that, I decided to make a bold choice. The choice that made me the wealthy woman I am. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make the same decision.
I'm Adley, and this is our Wealthy Woman Club. A wealthy woman has so much more than money. She has control over her time and peace of mind. She is free. She is you.
I share my personal finance stories to teach you what I wish I knew faster and easier, step by step, in this Beginner Investing Club series. I am not a financial advisor, just someone who became obsessed with changing the trajectory of my own life since I became unexpectedly responsible for my own finances at age 19. Now, your situation is probably going to be different than mine. Always do your own due diligence to make sure you're doing what's right for you and your unique situation. Growing up, I actually never cared that much about money. Instead, I just wanted to live a happy life. I knew how I spent my time would matter more than the number in my bank account. But when I became unexpectedly responsible for my own finances at 19, I realized the problem with my previous perspective. Sure, having money doesn't guarantee happiness, but without it, life is certainly harder. So that's when my cavewoman instincts kicked in, but instead of hunting bison for survival, I needed to learn how to build my wealth. My biggest fear was wasting money, even though I already cut my spending ruthlessly. But no matter how many coffees I declined, the savings in my bank account was not growing with 0.03% interest rates. My corporate finance professor gave me the solution. The wealthy invest their money so it compounds and grows even while they're sleeping. But you don't actually have to be wealthy to start taking advantage of this.
For example, let's say I invest $100 a month.
In 15 years, it will grow to $31,000, assuming a 7% average annual rate of return. Now, actual results will vary, but this certainly beats the $37.85 I'd earn in 15 years if I keep the $100 a month in my bank account. In 40 years, I'll have $262,000.
I had my answer. Investing would make me a wealthy woman. But what should I invest in?
The ex-Wall Street professor taught me about index funds. Index funds hold a collection of companies just like an eyeshadow palette holds a collection of eyeshadows. She preferred them over individual stocks for 2 main reasons. First, you don't have to do hours of research to ultimately bet on which individual stocks will win or lose. Even as much as I love personal finance, I have better ways to enjoy my free time than trying to read a stock chart like a horoscope. Secondly, the majority of people will actually make more money buying and holding index funds over the long term than trading individual stocks. Even 90% of the investment professionals fail to consistently outperform the S&P 500 over a 15-year period. I'm not ashamed to admit I wanted the best outcomes with the least amount of effort, so the index fund investing approach intrigued me. But I was still scared. No one in my family had invested before. And at this time, during the COVID job market, I couldn't afford to waste money. But I knew I would never become wealthy without investing. And so I opened up an investment account at a low-cost broker and invested $100 into the S&P 500 index fund. I was still scared, but I finally made my first investment. That day, I became an investor, a lifelong, long-term investor. That made it inevitable for me to become the wealthy woman I am today. At my current trajectory, I'm on track to retire in my 30s if I ever wanted to trade my blazers for bikinis and beaches. Or I could call up Toby in corporate and say, see ya, to take a 5-year career break. Or I could stop investing entirely and still retire as a multimillionaire in my 60s. It's not the money that makes me a wealthy woman though. It's the freedom over my own life. It's the peace of mind. I'm curious. Have you made your first investment yet? Let me know in the comments. Remember, we all start somewhere. I started investing at one of the lowest financial points in my life. To do that with confidence, I took 2 critical steps to set myself up for success. Keep watching our Beginner Investing Club series to see exactly what they are.